Hello, magnificent beings. It's Eva Gregory here. Sorry, I'm a little bit late. I really wanted to do this on Zoom, but Zoom is not wanting to live stream for me today. So we are back with a regular Facebook Live, and hopefully they won't have a lot of the cutting in and out that we had yesterday. So here we are. We are back. This is part 2 of the Soaring with Spirit series. Hello, Marissa. Hey, Stephanie. Hey, Sally. So good to see you guys. Hey, Martha, welcome. Oh, I love seeing little faces popping in. It makes me very happy. So, for those of you who may be popping in here, some of you are going to be seeing this live with me here, which is awesome. Some of you may be catching this on the replay, which is A-OK. But if you don't know who I am Eva Gregory. I help spiritual entrepreneurs create healthy, sustainable online businesses, growing their list of loyal followers who become raving fans and, of course, then convert into happy paying clients. And the other thing that I have, which is actually in the basis of everything that I do, is my passion for helping you access your own inner guidance, to create an ability to apply your own inner guidance in your life, to do whatever it is that you want in your life, to get your own answers, whether that is in your life, in your business, in your relationships, around your health, especially right now as we navigate, of course, the pandemic that we are experiencing right now. Hello, Elizabeth. Awesome to see you too. Goodness me. So good to see you guys. So, you know, my intention, of course, as I stated yesterday, my intention with the Soaring with Spirit Facebook series that we're doing, this is part 2 today, is transformation. Transformation over information. Creating a sacred space here. And I'm inviting you to come in and be fully present and open to the shifts that can occur, the changes that can occur, and of course, deepening your connection to spirit as you start to access your inner guidance and the higher realms. What we really want to be able to do, and this is what we're going to work on today, we're going to play with today, and that is we want to get to a point where you can just drop in and access that connection whenever you want to at a moment's notice. So you want to get to the point where you can just drop in and go anywhere from 15 or 30 seconds to about 3 minutes of just being in present moment, in silence. And just being able to get quiet and shift whatever's going on in your vibration or in your life in that moment. So if there's any time in your life when you're starting to feel stressed or you're beginning to worry, this would be a great time to do this process that I'm going to be showing you today. Any time that, even if you're in the middle of a super busy day, if something shows up, then you're going to train yourself to be able to just stop and just drop in to that present moment, okay? So you want to get to that point where we're going to retrain your brain to be able to do that. But it does start with your intentions, okay? And so you always want to be setting your intentions for the connection. That is just the most important thing to start with, obviously. Intention, intention, intention. That is the key to this work. And then you can ask for the guidance. And at that point, once you ask for the guidance, you literally want to be open. You're just going to be open and allow. This is not something that you effort. It's not something you get up in your head about, trying to figure it out in your brain. It's not something that you try to do. It's very opposite of that. It's more like relax and allow. Release. You know, when they say let go and let God, let go and let the angels, that's what we're talking about here. Okay? And so when you are, then at that point, you just want to be open and curious, not trying to figure out the answer or what's next, but just being open and curious to what that might be. So once again, you are being open to what's going to be given to you from the higher realms versus you being up in your head and trying to figure it out yourself. It's very, very different, okay? So it's getting out of the way, just getting out of the way of yourself and allowing your guidance to come in the whatever way it wants to. Yesterday we talked about the 4 superpowers, and if any of you did not take that quiz or you missed yesterday's session, I recommend you go back and enjoy it, and find out what your inner guidance superpower is. Because the easiest way, when you know the easiest way that your guidance can come in, then you really want to play with that always first. Easy, easy, easy. I'm always for easy. Little steps, baby steps, and easy. Yes. And fun. Fun is number one. Don't you ever forget it. All right. So there's patience involved as well. So this is not like, oh my God, I need to hear it now. I need the answer now. That is not open energy. Okay. That's very closed energy. That's very uptight energy. And to be able to allow your guidance to come through, you've got to be open. Okay. So, you want to keep it light as best you can. And I know a lot of times these are not light situations that we're wanting to get guidance around. So I totally understand that. But that's when there is the word surrender keeps coming up. You know, you just want to surrender. And I don't mean surrender like wave a white flag. I mean just surrender into the energy, surrender into the trust that you're taken care of, that all is well, that the universe, God, source, spirit, whatever you call that energy, has got you. It's got you. And then it's easy to be able just to relax and be open to the guidance that is wanting to come through to you. And hey, Kevin, welcome. Good to see you again. The more often that you do this, by the way, that you're dropping into these present moments, the stronger the connection becomes, and the easier it is for you to be able to hear or access your answers. Ideas will come, the connection, you will get guidance around situations or circumstances. You're going to be led to not only just answers, like when I say answers, I don't necessarily just mean an answer is going to come into your head, like your mind, but you will be guided to the people, places, situations, circumstances, events, ideas that you need. And it usually happens over time. You're not going to get everything necessarily, usually not everything all at once, but you'll be guided to the next step. And then you take that step and you're guided to the next one. Okay. So one of the ways to really strengthen your guidance is there's several ways, but the one I'm going to focus on today is through silence. It's the easiest one. And since this happens beyond your mind, you might feel like, well, I don't know if I've made a connection because I'm sitting here in silence, or I'm trying to practice no thought, right? And this is where the power of your intention is key. It's your conscious, deliberate intention to connect with these higher realms that will open you to that connection. It is that simple. And even if you feel like, well, I don't know if I connected, you've connected, okay? So this is how we get in our way, when it's just so subtle, right? And it's not that obvious. Then we start to question it, and then we're up in our head, and now we're not connected, right? So this takes a little bit of practice. So here is what we're going to, hey James, here's what we're going to do today. From time to time, maybe 2 or 3 times over the period of the training, I am going to sound a Tibetan chime. And it's going to sound like this. Let me find my little chime. All right, here we go. Listen. Okay. That is your signal. When you hear that chime, that is telling you this is the moment to stop whatever you're doing, whatever's going on, and just get into present moment. And when we're in present moment, you've heard it before, this is where all our power lies. But we're releasing anything around the past. The past is usually coming up around, you'll feel regret, you might feel blame, guilt, those kinds of things. You're bringing up the past. If you're in the future, you're in worry. That is future. If you're anxious or in fear, you are future focused, okay? So when we bring it back into the present moment, hey Karen, good to see you. When we bring it back to the present moment, then all is well in this one present moment. Right now, no matter what else is going on in the world, no matter what your bank account looks like, whether you're still got work or you don't have work, if you're sitting right here in this present moment, just in this moment, all is well. All is well. And that's what we want to get to. So you hear the chime, you stop whatever's going on, you bring yourself into present moment, and now you set the intention for your connection to spirit. That chime is saying, that's also, use that for, that's your signal that you are calling in spirit. You're calling in your inner guidance, okay? So, now there's several ways that you can be with this once the chime goes off. You can just be in silence for your present moment that we're there. Again, not here. The chime goes for about 18 seconds. So we're going to be in this present moment for those 18 seconds. What I recommend over time is that you're doing this and you're letting yourself get longer and longer. 30 seconds, a minute, 2 minutes, up to 3 minutes. I call it the 3-minute miracle process. And the reason I call it that is because when you're doing this frequently each day, you are going to see a big difference in the quality of your life. How you feel is going to be very different. You're going to be more aware, especially of your connection, because that's what we're using this for right now. Okay, so when you hear it, you can just be in silence. Some of you might prefer to use a mantra. So if there's a mantra that you use that you like, you can do that. It might be something like Om. Or any other sound that brings you into that present. It might be a word. So if you have a really high vibration word like peace or love or light, whatever your word is, just a high vibration word. Find whatever that word is, and then that's what you would focus on during the time that we have dropped into this place, right? And that's what you would focus on. So what I want to do is go through this right now. Okay, so if you're going to go silent or the Om or whatever your word is, come up with what that's going to be right now. And then what's going on when we do this, especially when you have this happen on a regular basis over time, it's teaching you a pattern interrupt. So when we're in the place of fear or anxiety or worry, or we're just busy or frustrated or whatever is going on, and the chime goes off, it's like, oh, present moment. And it's retraining your brain so that you know how to stop the world and get off is what I call it. But you've got something going on, you get this pattern interrupt, you need to just drop in, and your body relaxes. Your vibration raises. You start, your breathing will become more, it depends on how you were breathing, but more regular. And then you find your connection to source. Okay. I call it the consciousness connection, the consciousness of connection. And so to do that at will, we're going to do it, like I said, I'm getting ready, we're going to do it now, and I'll probably do it a couple more times in the training, but this is what I'm giving you today. This is for you to take away from today and start using right away. Any of you who've been in any of my programs like Guidance on Demand or Divine Manifesting Mastery, all of those programs, I've taught this method, so it's not new to some of you. Hey, Maureen, good to see you. So here's what I'm going to, the chime is a Tibetan chime, and I am recommending that you download an app on your Android or your iPhone, either one. There's one called Mindfulness Bell app and one called the Mindful Bell, I think. One is for Android, one is for iPhones. One may be free, the iPhone one's 99 cents. Download that app on your phone. It sounds just like the Tibetan chimes, okay? And then you can set this to go off every hour on the hour, once every other hour, 2 or 3 times a day. Randomly, you get to set it for whatever you want to set it for. And as you're moving through your day, when that goes off, that is your signal to stop, drop into present moment. Use your word if there's a word, or just go into your silence and just be. And again, anything from 15 seconds and to build up to 3 minutes if you could get there. And then once you're done, you're going to feel that relief and then you're going to go about your day until the next time you hear it. Now, let me get some water. One of the things I recommend, especially as you start doing this right now, is that you set it to go off every hour, and here's why. You will not be dropping in every time you hear it go off on the hour. Okay, so you'll hear it, and you'll be able to drop in for a few seconds, and then you'll go about your day. And an hour later, you might be on the phone, you might be on a Facebook Live like we are here, you might be driving, who knows, and you won't be able to drop in right then. However, what happens is it's a trigger, and you know what that chime was for, and so it brings it into your awareness. If you set it for like 3 times a day, and then you miss all 3 times, you end up not getting this practice in, okay? And that's why I really recommend you do it at least for the first few days, is every hour. So that when you can drop in, you're dropping in frequently, 2 or 3 times. If you can get 3 or 4 times in over the course of your day, that's awesome. And then the rest of the time, when you hear it, it just reactivates it, right? It reminds you, it brings it to your awareness. So even when you can't drop in, it has value, okay? So, so that's it. So mindful bell or mindfulness bell. I'll put a link to those after we get off the Facebook Live. I'll put it up here on the top of the video. So that's it. That's the way it works. In fact, I'm thinking off the top of my head right now. Here's, and this will help remind me, and I'm willing to do this for you guys. If you will put hashtag chime in the comment section, hashtag chime, then I will have a document that has the steps of what I'm taking you through right now. Super simple, but it's nice to have something in front of you. I need to have something I can see a lot of times rather than just hearing it. So if you put hashtag chime in the comment section, I'll make sure you get the steps to this process. And in that, I'll have the links to the 2 mindfulness bells that I'm recommending as well. Hey, Miss Althea, so good to see you. Love seeing you smiling faces. Well, smiling names. All right, so here we go. We are going to, you're going to hear the chime, and as soon as you hear the chime, you're just going to get into present moment and either be in silence, or if you have a word or a mantra that brings you into this place, that's all you're doing. The intention is when you do this, you're literally relaxing so that you're opening up that channel to the higher realms, okay? So here we go. That's it. It is that simple. It is that simple. So I'd love to hear from you. That was very short, but what is the experience like? Let me know. And if you have any questions about it, put that in the comments as well. So I'd love to hear what that felt like for you. And just remember, it's going to be a longer time when you're doing this on your own. The chime will go off, and then you'll sit after the chime for 15 seconds or 30 seconds, or just build up to as much as 3 seconds. And when you're doing this, also, one of the things that you want to pay attention to is what was coming up for you? Are you feeling a sense of peace or that connection? Did some kind of a thought come into your mind? Were there any symbols that showed up for you? Were there any physical sensations? Just want to be paying attention to what happens when you do this, because that's all part of you getting open and being open to the guidance, your inner guidance, and to spirit, your higher self, right? Now, there are a lot of reasons for doing this. First of all, the reason we're connecting or wanting to connect with our guidance is because we're tapping into the fuller part of who we are. So it's like, I want to know truth. I want to know what's my highest truth. I want to step into who I am more fully. I want to get answers, I want clear answers. And obviously the answers and the guidance that you get is for your highest good. That goes without saying, but it's always for the highest good. So one of the reasons why I always feel good, I feel safe and secure with whatever guidance I get. Now, guidance is not necessarily logical. It may not make sense. And what can tend to happen is you may get guidance, and by the way, that comes through synchronicities. As you're doing this chime, gosh, I'm just jumping all over the place. When you're doing these chimes, as you're doing them, if you're doing them several times during the day, you be looking for synchronicities. You're going to see synchronicities show up in your life all over the place. And they're fun. That's a fun way to see that you're getting guidance. All synchronicities, by the way, are your guidance. You're being guided. It wasn't random at all. Hey, Judy. Hey, Catherine. Good to see you. Awesome. John. Oh, we got some few people that are hopping on here. So good to see you. So just know that you're just creating that opening to what is the highest good of all for you and for those around you, whatever your intentions are for. All right. So we're moving into a place where we're not only can be aware of our inner guidance, but we have the ability to blend and to merge with our inner guidance and start to see life from the perspective of our higher self or our inner guidance. This is something that Theos, my guides, have been teaching and showing us for several years now, that this is the movement that we're moving into. Everything that's happening right now, all this upheaval that's going on right now, it's all just coming to a head so that what the goodness that's coming out of it is ready to be born. It is ready to be born. And so that's something that I continue to be aspiring to, is to be able to live my life from the perspective of my higher self. And what that means is we can still enjoy the physicalness, the sense, the rich, but we do it of joy and love and compassion. So we're not having so many negative experiences and judging and that kind of thing. That starts to go away the more that we're stepping into this level of our being. So yeah, it's almost, not exactly, but it's almost like, we go back into pure positive energy when we transition, right? And yet we have an opportunity to experience a lot of that level of joy and love and compassion and understanding right here. Right here, we're in these human physical bodies of ours, all right? And we have the ability right now to tap into that guidance in our spirit, in our higher selves. And, we are extensions of source energy. And so it's really tapping into who we really are at a level that I think from our conscious awareness we'll never really understand fully until we transition. But we have an opportunity here to really have some juicy, blissful, joyful experiences while we're here on Earth. And so one of the things that this is doing for us is helping us bring our consciousness back to love and to peace, to give that feeling of security and safety, and to know that in the scheme of things that we are so taken care of. And the other thing that we know is we are so not alone. We are not alone. And Spirit is always available to us. It's waiting for us to become aware of it, really. And so this is why we want to be consciously asking for guidance and the awareness of our connection to Spirit. And it is here to support us in every moment of every day. Every moment of every day. And we can ask for the guidance to have the highest possible future beyond something that we can imagine. Because when you think about the infinite possibilities and probabilities that are available to us in the quantum field, that from our perspective here in human form, it's so limited to compare to what is possible, but our higher self understands that. Our higher self knows that how to bring about things that for us would exceed our expectations. It can go beyond our imagination, right? And so, hey Cindy, hey Van, gosh, it's good to see you guys. Oh my goodness, I love it. I love it. I'm going to have to do more of these. Anyway, anytime you connect with your inner guidance, all of those higher vibrational qualities are available to us. Those and so many more than we even can be aware of. It's just this really clear, pure consciousness of the higher realms and of our higher selves and inner guidance. It's beyond our human conscious awareness. It's beyond our mass consciousness. And from our human conscious awareness and our mass consciousness, we're really good at identifying with our limiting beliefs and the illusions that we say are reality, and fears and misunderstandings and misperceptions. And when we can start to learn to tap into the higher consciousness, then we stop identifying with those limited qualities. And we call them the illusions, the limiting beliefs, the fear, the lack. Those are the things that are not who we are. It is not our truth. And yet that's what we buy into. And we know it's not our truth because it doesn't feel good. If it feels good, it means you're connected with your source and the truth of who you are. And if it doesn't feel good, then you can say, thank God, that's not my truth. And it also is a little bit of a red flag to say, hey, what are you buying into here? So one more way of using our inner guidance is just to help move us beyond those limitations and to help us understand just how unlimited we are and how eternal we are and the wisdom that we have access to, the infinite intelligence that we have access to. So now is the time. Now is the time. It's always the time, but now is the time. No time like the present for us to really ask for the clarity and the connection to our inner guidance and to ask for our guides and the higher realms to help us become aware of the truth. There's not anything that we ever want or anything that we ever need that we don't have the capacity to experience. None of it. And that's where tapping into inner guidance comes into play. Because everything that is needed for the fulfillment of an idea is available to us. The people, the places, the situations, the circumstances, the ideas, the events, the solutions, everything is available to us. And of course, by tapping into our higher realms and our higher self and our inner guidance is one of the easiest ways when we practice it to having access to that. And one of the things that happens with this is so interesting is that we don't have to control anything. We don't have to try to control anything. And the irony is that anytime we are trying to control something, that's, first of all, it's coming from lack, usually, and it's when we're the most out of control. So when we're tapping into guidance, we're not trying to control everything. We're trying to allow what is wanted. And so it's learning to trust what we're being given, to trust that inner guidance. And so we choose to follow inner guidance for the highest possible outcomes, the highest possible situations, the highest possible circumstances, for our spiritual growth, for our physical growth. It's our all over growth and expansion that we are stepping into. And so for us, it's like surrender and then align with that. And once again, surrender not being waving a white flag surrender, but surrendering, I am open to, I'm just open. I'm open and allowing versus efforting. Efforting is when you're trying to control. Hey, Cindy. Oh, Cindy. C-Y-N-D-I and C-I-N-D-Y. And hey, Sandra. Good to see you. So the intent here is you just want to say, I'm open to allowing. I'm surrendering my attachment. I'm surrendering my need to control. I'm surrendering the finite, limited understanding that I have as a physical human conscious awareness so that I can be open to my infinite intelligence. And so it's really important that we know how to ask and how to receive from these higher realms and from our inner guidance and our guides so that we can be released from these attachments that we walk around with. And we begin to expand into our more unlimited potential rather than limiting ourselves to just what we think we can have or what we believe we can have, because there's so much more that's available to us, most of us, than what most of us actually believe we can have. And when we're asking for guidance and we're asking for what we want, most of the time we're only asking for what we think we can have, what we believe we can have, rather than being open to it being beyond that. And so now this is a time to start opening yourselves up to ourselves, because I'm in the same boat. I'm still doing that too. I do those things that I do. But step one of this process is you want to set your intention for what you want. Or set the intention for what is the clarity that you want, if there's a question you're wanting an answer to. And to know the perfection of what you want is already within you. Okay, so that's the first step. What's the intention or the question or the clarity that you want? Step two is to release that to the divine. Release that to the divine within us. And step three is now be open to receive what you want. Receive the answer, receive the clarity, receive the experience. And we do that in that time that we're sitting in silence. So those are the three steps. Step one is your intention. Step two is releasing that to the divine. And step three is now being. Being in present moment, being open to receive what's being wanted, sitting in silence. And that is what we're doing the moment you hear that chime go off. Any thoughts that come in, you just let them float right away. Don't resist them. Don't resist them. Welcome them. When you get into resistance, now you're out of the moment, okay? So if it feels like you're just flooded with thoughts, it's okay. Let them just come in, let them go back out. So you're not trying to release your thought here. This is where I think the resistance comes. We're trying to just go in. When I say go into silence, I mean this. As best you can, and let those thoughts float in and let them just float back out and bring yourself back into present moment. That's it. So allow whatever is happening that way to happen and not be in resistance. And when you're doing this, there's going to be a point where you're going to feel that shift. There'll be it'll feel just a release and some resistance, as an example. And that at the moment you feel that little shift or that change in your energy, just know you've done your work. You've done it. And your request has been heard. And if you know it's been heard, then now you can relax and be open to the answers coming to you in whatever way they choose to come over. And it might not be right there in the red hot moment. Usually it's not for me. But over the days that come. And this is where you want to be actively looking for the evidence of guidance. I say keep it light and make it a game. This makes it easier. Don't get so serious about it. Where is it? I gotta have my answers. That's not gonna help. So I say be light, make it a game, and then just look for the evidence as you're moving through your days. Look for the synchronicities. One of the things that I always ask is something, okay, so today just surprise and delight me. And sometimes that's all I'm asking for the day, and it's fun to see the synchronicities that can show up. And it's nothing earth-shattering that happens, but it's clear that the guidance is there, the connection is there, and that knowing that we are just so not alone. We are not alone. So, okay, hey Philem, good to see you. So what we want to do right now is, once again, I'm going to set the chime to go off. And this is what we're going to do. You're going to have your intent. And this, I'm saying step one, step two, step three. It becomes very smooth as you start to do this on a regular basis, but just your intention, and then you allow, okay? We want to get into that present moment, and that's it. Just be in that silence, all right? Here we go. And when you're doing this on your own, you just sit there. Just be in the silence. And it's your opportunity to release any of the worry and the doubt. And if that worry and the doubt comes back up, just bring yourself right back into present moment. You're open to your guidance. You're open to the higher realms. And just allow in whatever wants to be allowed in. And to remember that you get to ask for anything. You can ask for help. You can ask for help releasing the worry and the doubt. You can ask for anything and everything. You can ask to become more aware. And one of the things that my guides have said, and if you don't know what to ask for, ask what to ask. So we get to ask. We get to ask for that guidance and support for anything and everything. And it can be for the teeniest little thing, and it can be for the biggest things. I know sometimes people will say, well, I'm working on something and it's this big project. And I said, well, have you asked? They said, well, it was only this little part of it. And I know, but you get to ask for everything, the big and the little. So don't forget the little stuff. Also, you've all probably aware of this as well. The best possible way of shifting your energy is being in gratitude and appreciation. And so as you are moving through your day, acknowledging what is working, acknowledging what you are aware of, acknowledging and being in gratitude for the things that you are in gratitude. And by the way, you can use the chime for this. The chime goes off, get yourself into present moment, and just feel. It can't be up in your head. Feel the appreciation and the gratitude that's coming from your heart. And spend your 15 seconds to 3 minutes doing that. Okay? So there's two things that you can use the chimes for. That's why I call it my 3-minute miracle process, because the chime goes off and these can be used for so many ways of connecting in. And remember that you have this connection to that broader part of you. It's that broader, wiser, all-knowing part of you. And every time you ask, you are getting answers. They come a little bit at a time. But sometimes what happens is you will be guided to something, but then you go, but I can't do that. So you're getting in the way, right? And then that's what can get in our way. So what happens is, even when we're being guided, if our limited mindset is running the show, then it will override your guidance. All right? So you've got to be aware of what's going on. So I want to talk to you, and some of you who've followed me at any time, you've heard this so many times, and it's still important enough, I'm going to go over it again. And I'm going to talk about my mindset mastery formula. So, mindset, what's mindset? Basically, if you think about someone who defines the glass as being glass half empty or glass half full, the glass half empty people are those who are cynical. They are always looking at the worst possible scenario. Those who are glass half full persons, they are, they're optimistic. They're assuming the best. They are looking for the best. Even if things are not going the way that they might want to, they're looking at things more optimistically, okay? So the mindset through which you approach your everyday life determines your behavior. It determines the results you experience in your life. The good news is our mindset is not set in concrete, all right? You can actually shift it. Thank goodness for that. So I'm going to give you the mindset mastery formula. And then I'm going to look at it from the perspective of law of attraction and how it goes synergistically with inner guidance, or how you want to make sure that it is working synergistically with your inner guidance. Let me get some water. Okay, and you might want to write this down. Actually, if you'll put hashtag mindset in the comments, I'll make sure you get a copy of my Mindset Mastery formula. But for right now, the formula is thought plus emotion plus action. Thought plus emotion plus, yes, sorry, just went blank. Thought plus emotion plus action equals outcome. Okay, thought plus emotion plus action equals outcome. So if we look at this from the perspective of law of attraction, you have a thought, okay? So you have a thought or a belief. That thought or belief creates an emotional charge, so thought plus emotion. It creates a feeling within you. And then how you're feeling emotionally is going to determine the action that you take or you don't take, okay? So thought plus emotion plus action equals outcome. So I really want you to get this. So for example, if your thought is one of, I'm afraid I won't succeed, or what if I fail, or this is going to be too hard, or I don't know if I can do this, then that thought has an emotional charge to it. And that emotion that you feel is one of anxiety, of fear, of limiting. It's a limiting belief, like that you're not sure you can do something. So it's a negative feeling that's being activated by that thought, okay? And so the actions you choose from a place of fear or anxiety are going to reflect that fear or that anxiety or whatever that negative emotion is that you're feeling. And because you're afraid you won't succeed, you're going to self-sabotage, you're going to procrastinate, you're going to let opportunities pass you by even when they're being offered to you, or you will completely miss them even when they're in front of you. And so as a result, you are not getting what you're asking for and what you're wanting because you have let that get in your way. So as a result of your mindset, even when you're being guided, you don't follow guidance. And then therefore you don't get the results that you were looking for, okay? You let it override your guidance. And so in order to act on the guidance that you are given, it's going to be important for you to make sure that your thoughts, your emotions, and your actions are in alignment. That puts you in the position to follow that guidance and to experience what you're being given. And what I mean, what you're being given, the results that you want, the success that you want, the health that you want, the relationships you want, the security, the sense of confidence, the peace. All of these things are available to us. We've just got to make sure we stay out of our head and stay in our hearts, right? And not let our limited mindset get in the way of that. And so when you're making decisions and you're taking actions based on fear or anxiety or frustration, any of those negative beliefs, then you're not acting on your truth or your potential, but you're not acting on your truth. You're not listening. You're not hearing your guidance. And until you choose to listen and to shift your mindset, then you're going to continue to struggle in whatever that area is that you're looking for relief around. You're going to continue to get the same results that you have been getting. So again, if you want the Mindset Mastery formula, just put hashtag mindset in the comments, and then I'll make sure that I get access to that to you. I'll private message you with the link to that. So how do you know what is your truth and what isn't? Hey, Carrie Ann. It's simple. It's how does it feel? How does it feel? So remember that Your emotional guidance system is your guidance at the most fundamental level. And that's why when you're checking in with your emotions and how something feels, if it doesn't feel good to you, it's not your truth. So those limited beliefs that you hold that don't feel good, they're not your truth. Understand? And so that emotional guidance is how we're guided at the most fundamental, basic level. And your inner guidance will always let you know when you're focused on your truth or not, based on how you feel. If it's focused on your truth, then you're in alignment with your inner guidance and you're connected and it feels good. But when you're feeling something that's not like we're never completely disconnected from our guidance, our higher self. It's always there, but we cut ourselves off from it. It's there. It doesn't go away. We're the ones that go away, right? Based on what we're focused on in our vibrations. So you want to be sure to act on the guidance and the ideas and the inspiration that you get, no matter how small it is, no matter whether it feels like it makes sense to do it or not. Guidance is not necessarily logical. And you got to be careful that you don't override your guidance with your mind saying, well, why would I do that? That doesn't make sense. Trust your guidance. Trust your guidance. I'll just give you, hey, Regina, I'll give you an example of this. Is I had a client who, she has a brick and mortar office, right? She doesn't work from home like I do, like many of us do. So, and she was looking for a new space. She needed to get out of the space she was in, and she had been looking. She had a real estate agent that she was working with. Anyway, they weren't able to find it. And we'd been talking about guidance and, tapping in and allowing it to come because she was wanting to get up in her head and figure all of this stuff out. And she said, so she's working on, just focused on the end result of what she wanted and asking for the guidance to find the place that was going to be perfect for her in the highest possible way. Always in everything that we ask, it's always for the highest possible good for us and for anyone else involved. And she said, I got this inclination for ice cream. I wanted ice cream, and I had no ice cream in the house. And so I got the hit to go to the store and get some ice cream. And she's going, why am I going to get up and it's 6 or 7 o'clock at night. I'm not going to go out to get ice cream. And then she said, yeah, I'm going to do it. So she went, and while she's standing in line to pay at the cashier, she had this conversation with this guy. And this guy had an office he was looking for somebody to take the lease up on. He had to move, and it wasn't trying to make money out of it or anything like that. He just wanted somebody to pick up the lease. And it was in that area that she wanted, and there it was. There was her office space, okay? So it may not make sense. It may not make sense. Some of the guidance you get, trust it, okay? Another thing to also feel into is when you're tapping into your guidance, there's going to be a sense of peace. There's a sense of peace or a sense of relief, or you start to feel a little lighter. Or maybe there's something that you've been worrying about for a while, and then you start to notice it's not worrying you anymore, even if something hasn't quite shifted yet. See, this is the thing you want to pay attention to. It's just that, hey, it's just not bothering me the way it used to. So start paying attention to things like that as you're moving through your day, because the results, the guidance and the results of the guidance are going to come to you in a lot of different ways. So you've got to be paying attention. That's why I say make it light. Make it light. Make it a game and keep it light. Hello. Make it a game, keep it light. Make it a game, keep it light. Be curious, be open about what's about to unfold for you and how it's going to show up, okay? It might be that all of a sudden you get this idea out of the blue. An idea comes to you. Trust that. Act on that. It might be that you see something in a completely different way than you've been seeing it up to now. That's another way it can show up. Another way is that when you go to make a decision, it's very clear. There's no waffling. This is the decision I'm making. Sometimes you may not have any feelings so much at all, but you just have a knowing. And so you want to trust that. So for all of you, you just want to make sure that you're open to how it's coming. It won't come the same way every time. Your guidance is coming to you in all kinds of ways. And so it may be different every time, but there's always a moment when you know, when that little shift of a relief or a little aha or a little insight, something will shift within you. So be aware and start acknowledging the little things that you do, and start to look at the little things that you're starting to notice that you didn't notice before. It can be very subtle sometimes. And of course, the more you acknowledge when you see these things, you see evidence of the guidance is showing up, the more you will be seeing. So that's Law of Attraction 101. The more you acknowledge, the more you'll be given to acknowledge. All right? The biggest hurdle is the doubts and the fears that can come up. So just recognize that the doubts and fears are just that. And one of the things is to just say, okay, the doubts and fears are coming up. That's good. That, by the way, would be a great time to drop into present moment and ask for the shift in those doubts and fears. Ask for the truth that's beyond those doubts and fears, and just be quiet and allow that to unfold for you. But a lot of times if they start to come up, I'm just like, okay, I see you for what you are. I see you for what you are, my doubts and fears. And I'm going to choose to focus over here. I'm going to choose to focus on what feels a little better than doubt and fear. I'm going to focus on the fact that I have inner guidance within me. I have source energy that it knows me better than I know myself. And I am taken care of. So whatever that is for you, just have that little conversation. That's one way to do it. And when you get that awareness, that's just an old doubt and fear. That's an old belief. The moment that awareness comes in, that's your higher self reminding you of that. And so that is when you want to pay attention. Start being so aware as you're moving through your day. Most of the time we're moving through our day and we're not paying attention at all. We're unconscious. Now it's time to become conscious. And it's fun. It's fun when you start to see how much we're being guided and how much we're being communicated with that we are totally missing when we're just barreling through our day in unconsciousness. And as soon as something comes up, an idea comes, take and run with it for as far as it takes you. The next step will be revealed. It will. But you've got to move. It's like somebody says, you can put in the directions for the GPS, but until you turn on that car and hit the accelerator, it's not going to take you very far. So get into action once you get the guidance. One of the things, again, I'm just going to bring it back to, and I said it before, but please, if you're getting into those places that doesn't feel good, bring yourself into present moment and just find the massive appreciation and gratitude through your heart. This is not something in your mind, but in your heart. Feel that appreciation and gratitude. It's a great way to bring your vibration back up. And in that vibration raising, you're in a much better place to access your inner guidance and connect with your spirit. So, all right. Hey, Shelley. I'm going to get some water, and then I'm going to bring Theos in to take us through a journey. All right. So this is going to be a great time for you to just get quiet and centered, comfortable. Close your eyes. And I'll start with the chime, and then I'll bring them in. Very well, Greg from Theos. You have an opportunity to receive your inner guidance whenever you ask. And it happens in the moment that you ask. The question is, are you open to receive what you're asking for? Because it's there, it's already within you. There is nothing outside yourself. It is all within. And we're encouraging you to always look within. Always. Always go within to ask for what you are wanting from the greater part of you, the greater source energy of you, your higher self. You have so many non-physical guides, non-physical energies who love you beyond all measure around you. Always with you, always calling you forward, always calling you forth, always calling you toward that which you're wanting. And so you want to start with making the contact with your inner guidance. And you do it with the intention to do so. And setting your intention right now. The intention to connect. To bring you into the fullness of who you are. To have you remember the truth of who you are. And as you're making this connection with your inner guidance, notice how you're feeling. Notice if there's any shift that occurs within you. You may feel some physical sensation, or you may not. You may feel your body relaxing. You may feel a sense of safety, security, peace coming over you. Just notice how it shows up for you. There can also be a quality that you feel. In other words, a quality like peace, serenity, security, love. And in many cases, there will be a sense of a release. There will be a releasing of something that was there before that is not serving you. It may be a bit of your fear or your doubts, a bit of tension. And many times you can feel that as you are aware, there's a greater connection to you. There's a greater part of you that you're tapping into. It can feel as a lightness in your being, in your heart. You may become aware of something that perhaps you were not aware of before. As you simply be open and allow. Open to the fullness of who you are. And you have the opportunity right now to experience that. And so allow yourself to become aware energetically. Just be aware in this present moment. There is a shimmering beam of light. Envision this shimmering beam of light around you. It is radiating through you. Perhaps you could feel the energy within you shift. Just imagine this shimmering light. Also remembering that your imagination is the portal through which your guidance comes. Do not discount your imagination. And allow that shimmering beam of light to radiate even brighter through you. And now moving through you and around you, infusing you with this bright light. And as it radiates through you, feel yourself relax even further. Going deeper and deeper within. And allow everything outside to just fade away. Fade into the background. And feel the brighter light that is coming through you. This is the light of your inner guidance. Allow it to be. Feel that sense of peace. Perhaps you have thoughts that are beginning to slow down. And allow the light that brings you the inspiration, the ideas, the solution, the answers, the insight, the understanding. And as you become more and more aware, in this present moment. Be here now. And now understand the light that is shining through you. It is infusing you with the ideas and inspiration, the answers you are asking for. And notice if there is busyness in your mind, it is relaxing into quiet, into stillness. And also notice there may be, for some of you, thoughts that do come in, thoughts that are of inner guidance, thoughts of inspiration. Understand that is coming from the fullness of who you are. It is beyond your monkey mind. And notice that any thoughts not in alignment with you will simply fade away. You are the light. You are light beings. And as you allow this beam of light radiating through you, all around you, enveloping you, opening the channel to allow the inner guidance you're asking for to come through to you. That of your higher self, your guides. And go deeper and deeper with them. And perhaps there is a sense of knowing that you hold. Feel into that knowing. It may be even beyond words. It's just a knowing. Perhaps you see a symbol that represents what it is that you're looking for, you're asking for in this moment. A symbol to let you know that you are not alone. As you become more and more open, the channel opening through which your guidance comes. Sense the peace, sense the serenity, and the tranquility. And as you connect with your inner guidance, notice any answers, any insights, any inspirations, any ideas, any thoughts that come from the higher realms. The sensations, the feelings, the sounds or symbols. And be here now. And just bask in the silence, the peacefulness, as you're open to the communication. And there's an area in your life where perhaps there's an issue that you would want understanding around. An area you would prefer to see improved. And even as you do seeing the situations, perhaps in the moment you are feeling it's coming from a place of lack or separation. Ask to see the truth within the specific situation or circumstance. Understand there is divinity within it. And be open to receive what you're asking for. For some of you, there are questions to be asked that you've not even thought about asking before. What is that? What is it that you could ask for that you have not? Ask for what would make the massive difference in your life if you were to ask. Your guidance is always calling you forward, always giving you answers. And trust that which is coming to you. Feel the love. The love is who you are. And in these moments, you have created a greater opening in this present moment. An opening that you'll carry with you as you move through your days ahead. And understand anytime you come back to this present moment, you create an even stronger opening. Not with efforting. Always with allowing. There is simply being in the intention of what is wanted. And so it is. Find your way back to the present moment of this time, space, physical, earth reality. Knowing that you have created an opening you can carry with you over the days and weeks and months to come. Be willing to be aware as you move through your day-to-day experience. Acknowledging the evidence of the guidance that is always with you, always around you. Looking for the synchronicities. And continuing to ask for whatever it is that you're wanting. Always ask. The answers are within you. The experiences are within you. The insights are within you. We will infuse you with our love, magnificent beings that you are, and for now, we will leave you be. Welcome back. Okay, magnificent beings that you are. Your marching orders, should you choose to accept them, is to get the chime. Any kind of bell will work. I highly recommend the Tibetan chime. It's the thing that reminds me of spirit. Get it on your phone. Set it to go off randomly, but frequently, and practice just dropping in and being in the silence and opening that channel even longer, even more, not longer, but even more. Build up from 15 to 30 seconds up to as much as 3 minutes each time you drop in. And really pay attention to the evidence of things shifting around you. This is not something that you have to wait a week. Start looking now. When you start tapping in this way, and you're doing it frequently each day, you're going to start to notice a change. You're going to start to notice evidence. You're definitely going to be looking for the synchronicities. They're all around you. Your answers are going to come. Your insights are going to come. Man, I would love to hear back from you too. What is showing up for you? Come back and post on my page or private message me. Either way, I don't care. But I'd love to hear from you. A reminder, if you want the steps to this little process that I've given you today, hashtag chime. I'm trying to remember what I told you. And if you want the Mindset Mastery Formula, hashtag mindset. And I will private message you with the links to those things. All right. Have an amazing rest of your day. We are right back here tomorrow, same time, same channel, with part 3 of Soaring with Spirit. Big, big heart hugs. Lots of love. Bye for now.